social network algorithms are not about followers and millions of likes and comments anymore.
Right.
What connects with people is the virality effect, is the authenticity. I still get surprised how many people don't do this or don't know this. I may sound a little bit crazy now, but I don't understand who still wants to watch very boring corporate video ads. Even big brands are changing, and they understand that the way to connect with someone is by relation. That's it. It's just, we used to Google, now we use ChatGPT. If you think you have a competitive advantage, you don't. Everyone's using it. It's experimenting, and it's not sticking to some sort of standards, and understanding that today we have a term called ugly ads, and ugly means just not being the same as everyone, really. It's just going out of the pattern. It works very well because it stands out, because there's quite a lot of content of what we call UGC out.
Today's guest is the CEO and co-founder of Billow, a company designed to help connect you with UGC creators, user-generated content creators, to help elevate your e-commerce brand. We're going to be getting into a lot of different topics surrounding UGC and its importance in today's day and age. Today's guest is Donatas Smailys. Donatas, I want to thank you for joining me today to talk more with us about a very pertinent topic, a very important topic in today's day and age, a very important subject that if it feels like if you're not taking advantage of this in today's day and age, you're not selling as well as other people that are taking advantage of it. So I want to thank you for coming on and discussing the topic of user-generated content, otherwise known as UGC. Donatas, give us a brief, well, first of all, thank you again, and give us a brief introduction to yourself and your company, and how you got really into the e-commerce and the creator content space.
Cool. So a pleasure to be here, Pete, and thanks for having me, first of all. Yeah, so real quick, before Billow, me and my co-founder, we worked in the micro influencer marketing space. This is like 7 years ago, and the space was getting very crowded. It was super hard to measure the actual result of it, and what we thought was that there should be more opportunity here. It shouldn't be all about just like people having tons of followers and people working with brands for just by posting to their audiences. So our assumption was that we should be able to find a way to help just anybody really to do something with their phone, which technology was getting, was getting better year by year, and so that brands would pay for it. So the assumption was they should be able to create content that brands would pay for, and they don't have to necessarily have followers. So in 2020, we launched Billow. We found our first batch of amazing creators who were very good at following briefs that were written by the D2C brands, who were then using those videos that they have created for selling their products, really. And our goal was to match the two sides. So Billow, that's how Billow was born. So we leveraged our experience in micro influencer marketing, and we saw an opportunity that it shouldn't be going just that way, and it should be easier to measure. We should leverage way more people, and here's how we got here. So that's like the very beginning of it.
Love it. Yeah, I always say I was born too late to like explore the ocean and be a sailor, or explore new worlds, in that time. But I was born too early to be a TikTok product influencer. But I feel like that answer is changing. I feel like now it's become more popular. I know there's people that are way older than me doing it, so maybe I could do it. Maybe that could be a fun side business here. I could use the nice microphone and the nice camera setup that the company has provided me with the podcast to maybe make some product. If there's anyone out there that wants me to sample a product for them, let me know. That's a personal sales message for the podcast.
Do you know what, Pete? I think that, I'm probably getting into it straight away, but the beauty of it is that the the more authentic a person is, the better it vibes with the audience. The more
Mhm.
you're actually matched with the product that you're talking about.
Right.
In ideal case scenario, you actually like the product and use the product,
Yeah.
the more beautiful it is. And what works today is that when you bring those very, very authentic bits and pieces out of a person. So you're into podcasts, you're into, I'd love to get to know you more to mention these things, but you can for sure resonate with a lot of people. And the thing is that social network algorithms are not about followers and millions of likes and comments anymore.
Right.
It's actually what connects with people is the virality effect, is the authenticity. So definitely yes.
Could be something to talk about offline, maybe a little, get me into your network there, and I can I like baseball and Crocs. I think that would be 2 interesting things. It's kinda hard. Those are pretty big
That's a
things.
great combo.
Yeah.
That's a great
Or
combo. You can
beard
see an
stuff.
ad already
Would love
out
to
of that.
sample some beard products, and see where it goes, but
We could team up on that one, man.
yes, it's a fun discussion here for after now. But that you bring up a great point. You bring up a great point that I wanted to start with some numbers actually right off the bat. So I was looking at some studies in preparation for this. I was looking at some studies on comparing, UGC content to polished brand commercials. And one study I found from not a big name website, so I don't know how authenticity this or how authentic this is, but it said 92% of consumers will actually trust recommendations from people. Again, example like me, if I made a recommendation from Croc, maybe they'll trust recommendations from people like me over tailored, branded content. Do you think that's true? And if that's the case, why do you think UGC resonates so much with shoppers more than, again, these polished commercials? Are you enjoying this episode's content? If you are, make sure to like and share so that all of your friends can also enjoy this episode and its content. And also, while you're liking and sharing, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay up to date on all things e commerce, all things Velocity sellers. When you subscribe, you will get access to a variety of different episodes. You'll get our main episodes, which include me talking to different experts in various fields of knowledge that know a lot more than I do, so it'll give you a lot better information. You'll also get access to our exciting showdown episodes where 2 e commerce experts will go head to head on hot topics in the e commerce world and what they disagree on and what they might agree on. And then you'll also get access to the e-tail report, which is essentially the latest news around the e-commerce world, spoken to you by me, telling you all the information that you might have missed and all the headlines you might have missed in the e-commerce world. So make sure you join and subscribe to stay ahead of the curve and also be a part of our Velocity Sellers family.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been in this for like the 6th year now, doing what we're doing. And I still get surprised how many people don't do this or don't know this. And I think there's a very, very simple human reason behind that. Um, I may sound um, I may sound a little bit crazy now, but I don't understand who still wants to watch very boring corporate video ads. Like I don't understand why would someone want to do that. I understand the reasoning that there's a lot of, brand safety this,
Mhm.
brand safety that, and brand book this, brand book that. But I do see that some even big brands are changing, and they understand that the way to connect with someone is by relation. Because as humans, we just want to relate to someone. If I see a dude or whatever, if I see someone with a beard talking about a beard that is my age, that looks, that also like a sports hat or something on, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to listen to this person because I have a beard. I have something to do with my beard. So
Right.
I think it's that point of relation. And the best part is that when the person who's talking about the product is actually using the product, sometimes it's an act, of course. Some creators just do it for money, but some creators genuinely like the product, and that is what you want. You
Right.
want to either get your customer to speak about it, which frankly is difficult, or find a creator who actually wants your product and speaks about it. And that's why you connect, because you see a human being that is nearly just like you. And that way you're like, well, that's interesting. Another interesting trend, I don't know if you I can't really back this up by any data, but it's kind of common sense that you can feel that people's trust from mega brands has shifted over the years, and you can trust
Yeah,
smaller brands that do better marketing. They sort of resonate better with you. So that has shifted a lot as well.
right.
We don't need a mega brand to buy a product anymore.
I feel that way about sometimes about the news a little bit. I think we're getting in the same kind of topic there of,
Exactly.
like they're, whatever. Same thing with like you said, with smaller brands. I can't remember the last time I I can't remember the last time I've bought a product from a really high end or really more well known brand, aside from again Crocs, of course. Um, but even when I'm on Amazon and I'm shopping for things, the first thing I look at is, um, of course, obviously reviews are very important, and I'm looking at the size of the brand and how many have been sold in the last couple of weeks or months or whatever the number that Amazon decides to put up there. Um, it's very interesting the sheer volume of people that it seems, and the sheer volume, I should say, more of brands that again are just switching to only UGC, where they're putting out some branded content for again maybe like cable news, but their solely their social media and their e-commerce strategy is all UGC. I see it all the time on all the things that I buy on Amazon. Um, so the numbers were shocking when I first read them. Again, about 92% of people want UGC. But then when I thought about it more, it made a little bit more sense. It makes more sense to think that they want people, shoppers, like you said, they want to see real people. They don't want to see actors being paid. They want to see I bought this and I used it and I liked it. So very interesting.
And and when you also combine that, where they actually see this content and how our habits as social media users have been
Mhm.
formed and changed for the past years, it's like all short form, it's video, and like it's concentrated piece of content with a message that resonates with you. So, you put that into the habits that we've been forming for years now with, with TikTok reels and shorts now. So
Right, right. It's very interesting
that's a great
to
combo.
yeah, yeah. It's really interesting how it affects the other metrics. Again, I think that same article said something about like a 30% conversion rate. So it's not just people are seeing it and saying, "Okay, I like this more." People are seeing it and saying, "I trust what that person's saying. Now I'm going to buy it." They're putting it in the cart and then following through and purchasing it. It's crazy the numbers on how much that differs from when you show someone a branded content versus UGC. So I don't know if you have any numbers that you could share, if you have any examples of maybe how you added UGC or a client of yours started using UGC and they saw an amazing uplift in sales. But it seems that that's becoming just, I don't know, even when Amazon started to really themselves started to put emphasis on this. But it seems like over the past couple of years, it's become just more and more important that if you don't have UGC, you're missing out. You're actively giving up sales.
Yeah. And I can just mention some performance metric that helped this
Yeah.
brand or helped the other brand, but it's just really different how brands do it. But the key thing here is that we've got like hundreds of brands go doing performance marketing with user generated type of content, and most of them don't really want to share their performance metrics,
That's fair. Yeah,
obviously.
that's fair.
You know what I mean? So but it's kind of clear why,
Right.
because it works. They have their own ways of doing it, but the key thing is that with this sort of short form UGC, as what you want to do is you want to build a system and not a bunch of random actions, and you want to be testing like hell,
Mhm.
because the way TikTok sort of set the tone is that now short form video algorithms on social are like they're like black holes of fatigue.
Yeah.
It's like you just feed the thing. There's no other way.
Right.
There's like you have to constantly feed it with content, and that's what they do. So you can find a bunch of studies, a bunch of metrics, but what I can tell is that we work with a lot of brands that leverage this opportunity and
Mhm.
have been for years now, and I don't think it reaches maturity yet.
I think I would agree with that. I think there's definitely still some weird amount of room left to go in this again the creator economy. I'm stealing that from a friend I had on the podcast, I think a few weeks ago. He said this is the creator economy. It's now not just about, to tie this thought in, it's not just about how great your commercials can be. It's about, do you have real people creating content for you and not just a big marketing agency making ads for you? It's, do you have real people that can verify your product with a short video and are willing to do that? Um, and that also kind of comes into my another thought that I had just about the reviews. And I mentioned reviews earlier, about that's the first thing I check. And I think that the first thing a lot of people check is the reviews. How do you think UGC and these, again, these video style, almost essentially video style reviews stack up against the written ones that are existing on Amazon and on the other platforms? Do they work hand in hand? Are they kind of stealing market value, I guess, to say, from each other? Like if a one product had a bunch of written reviews and not a lot of UGC, would someone buy that over a product that had a lot of UGC but not a lot of written reviews? Where do you think where are they competing in today's day and age?
You mean sort of static or text written
Yeah,
text reviews versus UGC type of reviews?
correct. Yeah, are they
Yeah.
competing with each other? Are they different, the same, a mix of both?
I would say they're complementing each other. Um, there's there's quite a few parts into it. I think the
Hmm.
first part is that as a user, um, you want to see people talking good about the product you're gonna buy, first of all, and probably depends on really how the brain processes information. Some are auditory, some are visual, etc. But the mix is always nice as you first sort of you can read what others are saying, and then you can see what the person that is very much like me is saying when they're wearing the product or eating whatever it is. So that's number one thing. But I think there's another important aspect here is that we shouldn't underestimate looking to the very, very future, is that the LLMs, the new search engines of the world, are very likely to consider this in their search.
Hmm.
So so you want to do that in a combo because to my knowledge recently, believe ChatGPT are either already integrated or integrating into their search option, like the Instagram feed, for example, like the social feed,
Oh, wow.
and I think it totally makes sense. So you sort of you want the combo, and then of course you want to understand whether the reviews were legit.
It's
If the
true.
if the product is absolute crap and then the reviews are good, that's short gains.
Right.
So yeah, so I think it's complementary in short, but I think it should be both these days. And
Hmm.
and obviously, from the conversations that I had, it's probably best for the brand to just see and how it converts on the storefront, having UGC versus not having it. And I think the answer is pretty simple.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a better answer than I could have hoped for, to be honest with you. Thank you. I was This is something that came up, that I just thought about are we gonna maybe switch away, and it sounds like not from your answer, but are we gonna maybe switch away from even having those verbal reviews and just leaving video reviews and just moving towards that? Maybe we will, but it sounds like for now, you're right. I didn't think about the AIs and kind of how that affects, um, again, the review culture and how that affects the UGC, um, type of, environment, and how it affects the product reviews. So, um,
Pete, can I just quickly respond to that?
yeah, yeah.
Like the way you said it, whether it's just going to be short form video and no text,
Mhm.
even though this is like our bread and butter, short form, I really hope it's not just that in the future. I hope people have enough curiosity to also read things.
Yes.
So I mean,
Let's
there has
hope.
to be limits to laziness, I suppose.
Right.
So I really hope it's like, yeah, the future is quite diverse,
Yeah.
in those terms.
The way you say that, it makes me think that the downfall of society is audiobooks. Just get the book and read it. It's not being lazy.
Kind of is.
Could be. No, but
Kind
that
of
kind
is.
of brings me into a question I wanted to ask later, but I do want to ask it now that we're on this topic of, thinking of AI. I always like to. It's always, a big thing of AI. Do you see a future, or how do you see the future of short form review videos, of short form UGC? How do you see it converging with AI? And like we said, the existing text reviews. Do you think there's something coming in the future that will be different than what we have now? Do you think we'll be relying more on one thing versus the other? How do you see this um, micro influencer, AI, and really an influencer marketing changing and coming together?
Cool. So I'll speak first of all from like our company perspective,
Yes.
what we're thinking, and then go on maybe to my sort of personal 2 cents. So first of all, we didn't rush to call ourselves an AI company because I think most of AI companies these days is like a go-to-market strategy to just get out of the dark and make sales.
Hmm.
And then if you'd look into retention numbers, they're probably very bad. So we didn't rush on that, although we embrace it and say, look, we need to really digest this because this stuff is real. And for months, we've been just playing around with it, flirting with it, and now I'm proud to say that there has been some stuff that we've been doing with data, performance data, real ad purchase data, and AI that this year is going to be super exciting. So we're going to make our platform as a system, not a bunch of random actions, because that's my take now on the market. Even our platform for years, it hasn't been a system. It hasn't been like a feedback loop that is live, that is responsive to the actual performance of creators and ads, and we're going to use AI and data to change this. So my fundamental belief is that I, as a person, now have access to ChatGPT. This is not a competitive advantage anymore. It's just that's it. Your Geminis, your ChatGPTs of the world. That's it. It's just we used to Google, now we use ChatGPT. If you
Hmm.
think you have a competitive advantage, you don't. Everyone's using it.
Right.
So the best way to do it is actually evolve with it, learn with it, and think of ways like our goal is to make AI actually actionable, but not just because of making it actionable, because there's an opportunity there to make it good
Hmm.
and create value for the users. So that's my take. In terms of content creation, I think it's great for making things faster. I think it's absolutely amazing for likes of entertainment and you name it, whatever. So it's gonna change a lot of things. But when it comes to UGC, we've made a moral decision not to go that way. And I know business is about numbers, and I'm talking about cloning real creators as AI avatars, fake UGC.
Right.
We decided not to go there because we think that there will be backlash, and we think that brands can damage themselves, so creators can damage themselves with cloning their faces and letting people say anything with their face with a prompt.
Right.
You don't know where this is going to be used.
No.
So
No.
so as a creator, I think you should be very much aware, and as a brand, as I say, if a grandmother believes in an ad of supplements where some grandpa said, use this, and then she realizes the grandpa doesn't exist, that could cause some backlash. So
Right.
there's like a vomit of thoughts on AI. As much as we embrace it, there should be lines where we say we don't go, and we've done that.
That is the hope. That is certainly the hope. As someone that has vehemently said AI has the potential to take over the world, um, I've watched Terminator a lot, and I know what it can do. If that's true, then that's this very scary reality. Um, but you're right. I do think it is useful. I don't think it should just be all destroyed and we should wipe the planet with AI. Um, but it does make it hard. You're right. There is a line that we have to draw, and then we have to say you cannot do this. So it's very interesting. But yeah,
Pete, do you use ChatGPT for like managing your work?
a little bit. I will
So
admit.
do you know what we are? We are vibe managers. I'm joking, right?
That's
Like it's
true,
just
but it's true. I mean, I
no.
one of the things I use ChatGPT for now, we live right next to a library, which is really fun. We have a library card, and when I finish a book, I'll go on ChatGPT and say, "Okay, I just finished this book. I really liked it. Can you recommend others to me, that are similar?" And stuff like that, and it reads the books instantly, and we don't talk about the capabilities of AI and all that stuff, but I do use it for little things like that. I hope that's not you know, I hope that doesn't come back to haunt me somehow. Maybe it will. I don't know in the future if it'll affect my decision making in my brain, or it'll tune my brain to not be able to make decisions for myself or something like that. But I do use it for work as well. I do use it every now and then to keep things organized, or if I needed to make an email sound more formal or to add something
Yeah.
to it, um, I will use it every now and then. So,
I'm totally with you on this. It's just,
yeah,
it's prompt context data.
right,
You're doing you just faster. So,
right. And I always say to people when I do my sales analyses, I say, listen, your listings aren't optimized for GEO, the generative engine optimization. And like you said, now they're reading your short content, your Instagram feed. They might start to read the text or even the words in your TikTok or UGC videos to say, hey, listen, this person from TikTok or from whatever platform recommends this product because of X, Y, and Z. And even just shortening that, the large language models will be able to pick up on that and read it. And
yeah,
it could be, again, that's where I'm thinking it could be maybe a little scary if it's able to do all of that, but it's also better recommendations. Like I said, I have had a few books recommended by ChatGPT. I read mostly all of them. Some of them were okay. Some of them were actually really, really good. Um, so it knows it's not recommending these things randomly. It knows this. So with terms of products, I know people that instead of Googling it now, they will actually search it on ChatGPT. They say, what's the best product for X, Y, and Z? And so I'm old enough to remember when we switched over from saying look it up on the internet to saying Google it. And now, and I'm sure you're experiencing the same thing, now it's not even, it's still Google it, but now more so it's also becoming ChatGPT it. Go and
exactly.
ask ChatGPT what it thinks. Don't Google it, ask ChatGPT. It's a little, again, I feel like we're relying on it sometimes a little too much, but I could be wrong. Again, it is very helpful for me. I do use it. I will admit that. Um, if it came out that it was planning to take over the world, maybe I would stop. But what am I going to do? Pick out books myself? I don't know. So, um, but yeah, it's very interesting just to see where it goes. So,
And the funny thing is, nobody knows.
right,
Everyone's just
right.
speculating.
Every time I ask this
But
question, I say, "What's the future of this involving AI? What's
yeah,
the future of your
nobody knows.
industry with AI?" They say, "Oh, I think it's going to be this." No one knows.
Yeah,
No one knows where
exactly.
this is going.
Nobody knows.
Which also makes it a little bit scary as well, but you need some
Yeah,
mystery in life, I get that.
yeah.
Um, but kind of on that topic, to kind of pivot back into a little bit of a more concrete question. One of the challenges that I think 2 of the challenges actually I think that are present with UGC, just from this is a personal experience question, and maybe this will help launch my UGC career. Um, how do you how do you keep the authenticity of, how do you tell how do you more so how do you maybe coach creators to say this it needs to sound good but it can't sound staged, just talk to me authentically without making it sound like I handed you a script. Is there a balance that you help them with? Is there something that could help them find that balance? And we don't want it to come off stage, so how would you coach these creators to do that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Um, so over the years, what we've done is on the platform, we just polished this one trick, which is like a brand wants a video, a brand creates a script. Now it's AI scripts backed by data, a bunch of stuff. But the thing is that as little actions as possible for a brand to get to find the right creator and get the creator to say the things as close as possible what the brand wants, but as you just mentioned, not losing the authenticity and being themselves as much as possible. So we have a process where we vet them in the first place, the creators, before they get exposed to the brands. It's not a massive playbook, it's not rocket science, but there's a couple of things that we have, over the years developed filters on is articulation in front of a camera, their gear, how well they can follow some pattern of thoughts,
Mhm.
and then how they express themselves in this process. So that's the first part, and we have people who actually do QA and then let the creators on the platform. So with that said, things are pretty much changing over the years where this sort of video ads of creators, this UGC used to be, I cannot say it was polished, but it was more polished than it is now. And in recent months, we saw a trend where brands want way more creators who are starting off because they're a little bit off. And because they're a little bit off, they stand out. And when I say off, they're off the usual, let's say, because there's some sort of a standard, some sort of a talking pattern, some sort of like lights this, setting that.
Right.
So I suppose the best way is for them, as or speaking with a bunch of creators as well, is this. Honestly, the start is they applied as many jobs as possible to platforms similar like ours, and they just executed. And it also depends a lot on the brand. A lot of brands want very much high control, let's put it this way, and other brands just let the creators do their thing.
Mhm.
I do believe you have to test, but I love the second path more when people are actually, they bring their own tastes, their own colors, their own vibe into the thing, and they actually create the script by themselves, which we had this option on our platform that the script was called, at the start was like freedom mode or something like that, which means brand just gives like a high level, I want this, here's my product, and then just creators go nuts and do their thing. So in short, it's experimenting and it's not sticking to some sort of standards, and understanding that today we have a term called ugly ads, and ugly means just not being the same as everyone, really. It's just
Right.
going out of the patterns. Works very well because it stands out, because there's quite a lot of content of what we call UGC out there now.
Right. Right, it's becoming more and more important. I was actually thinking about asking a question related to, how do you keep up with scale? Brands are gonna want this stuff weekly or month or biweekly or whatever, but I dismissed it because I thought, well, there's so many people doing this that there's should be no problem. Maybe you've had a trouble finding, quality and quantity, but quantity should not be a problem, it sounds like, with just how many people are, able to put out content after video after video. You think if you have one person to do a review, again, I'll use me myself as an example to be a little selfish. If you sent me 100 pairs of Crocs to try on and review, I'm going to bang that out in a day. And then you've got, 200 something videos or 100 something videos of me for the next week or so. So it sounds like there's just, again, I was going to ask a question about how do you keep up with the scale, but it it sounds like there's just so many people out there to do this, and also you make one 60-minute video, and that's 100 something, 200 something clips right there. So,
Yeah, I mean, the we there's like thousands of videos produced on our platform every month,
right,
and it's not really the problem. A creator can produce a video in like from 10, 15 to 25, 30 minutes, depending on the
right,
length. So they can just get their hang on it, and they just can do their thing. There's more things like, post production, get it ready for ad. Sometimes
right,
the brand would do it by themselves. Sometimes they order it on our platform, so we have the ways. But for the very near future, this is one of the ways we're going to use AI, and I think people should think about using AI is keep the real authenticity, like the real creator, but scale different tests with AI.
right.
But I don't want to get too far ahead with
No,
this
yeah.
thinking.
We'll have you back on in a few months. We'll talk more about how AI has advanced the UGC in general, but also for Billow. Um,
Cool.
Speaking of, mentioned testing, so I like to ask some follow up, and not so much as follow up, but some questions that people can do right now. So, what if, for someone that is just, let's say, a brand that is new to the UGC space and is starting to test out these UGC ads? They hired someone off Billow. They found someone to make videos for them. They've got the videos now, and they're saying, okay, how do we implement these? What's maybe one simple step that they can do right now today after watching this podcast, to get results quickly and to find out what works best for them?
Yeah. See, one, if they don't necessarily have to use a platform like ours, um, If they already have the videos, that's one thing. If they don't, they should just do a little bit of research to see how these things work, how these scripts look like. Just reach out to creators who've done it before, and really just start testing. Get those videos and put them in Facebook Ads Manager, run Reels ads with it, or to put it on TikTok and run some TikTok ads and see how that resonates with the audience. Or you can get some creators to do some organic posting to see if there's performance signals. If that works on Meta, you can run partnership ads, which used to be called more widely whitelisting. On
Right.
TikTok, if a
Right.
post performs, you can spark it. You can put ad dollars on it, and
Yeah.
other people will see an ad with a from the creator's handle, not your ad account. So I think it's just a matter of making these little actions that today don't cost that much. To start off, we could be talking about hundreds of dollars.
Right.
Obviously, if you want scale, it's
You pay
money
to
adds
play.
up, but
Right.
yeah, exactly. But there are ways to get content. There's such a thing as seeding, for example, where brands just send the product to the creator in return for content and not actually paying them for it, but just sending the product to get the content or get the ad and run the ad. It's just a matter of wanting to do things and executing. It's not that high a barrier. Obviously, the game starts when you start playing the performance game, where you need to understand what performs, how does it perform, then iterate on it. So yeah, so that's a different know-how to build on.
Yeah. You can't win if you don't play, kind of thing. You can't get results if you don't put the content out there. So yeah,
Exactly.
no, it's a great answer. It makes sense. It checks out in my head. Another more of a timely question here. This episode is going to come out maybe in a week or so. So we're getting right into the middle of September, right into quarter 4, which is obviously a huge time of year. You got moms on Facebook looking for gifts for their kids. You've got kids on Instagram and TikTok looking for gifts for their mother, hopefully. Buy your mother a Christmas gift this year, a nice one. That's a PSA for all the kids out there. What is something that sellers can, or how can sellers best leverage UGC to stand out in Q4? And especially like we talked about, where maybe ad costs are now a little bit higher because we're getting into this rough, this more popular, this more packed in holiday season. How can they best leverage a UGC that they've built up or that they have to succeed in quarter 4?
Yeah, so I think, Pete, you nailed it. I suppose it's not rocket science, but I believe like every brand, whether they're big or not, whether they have many people or not, should have this sort of a thinking where, look, so here's the calendar for the year. Here are the major events when purchasers are more active. How do I get there? When do I start planning these things? So I think it's like a honest exercise, but I also believe that a lot of people don't do it. Like, I believe that planning is a habit that a lot of people just don't do it. So get the stuff together and start planning and be strategic and systematic about it.
Hmm.
So everyone knows that like all the metrics of ads, your CPAs and all the performance metrics will shoot up in December. Everyone knows that.
Right.
But then you can create campaigns like get ready for gifts before the prices go up. So I mean, it's a matter of working on habits as well as being strategic about it.
Right.
And you're spot on. The timing now for preparing for the even Q5, as we say it,
Right.
is a great time now. And just look at that calendar and try to be creative, and try to think what everyone is gonna do and then what you're gonna do.
Right. Amen. Amen. That's a great answer. Thank you. Donatas, the last thing I want to ask you is always something I love to ask all of my guests. What's next for you? What's next for Billow? And as an early PSA, we'll have Billow's website link down in the description down below, along with Donatas's your LinkedIn. But tell us what's next for Billo. What's going on there, and what are you guys? We talked a little bit about this with AI, but is there anything else that we missed that is happening at the company?
Yeah, so I honestly, genuinely, um, never felt as good as I do now. And this is our 6th year of hustling. I've never felt as good and as excited because it has never been as clear where we want to get. And it doesn't matter how things are going to go. Obviously, you go in life ups and downs. That's for everyone.
Right.
We realized that platforms like ours and the whole market is not sophisticated in terms of data, AI, and being an actual system. We realize that a lot of brands and the way things are going on in our market is just a bunch of random actions rather than a system. So we're going to just build up a brain on our platform. And now you can get creators to do partnerships with brands, like create content recently, like do organic posting, run partnership ads. It's all beautiful. It's all great. It all works.
Mhm.
But we want to take it to the next level to put a brain on top of the platform with data and AI. So it works as like a loop with actual ad purchase data behind it. So we're going to recommend what action to take next, what sort of video to create next, what sort of creator to work with. You can already create data backed, real purchase data backed AI briefs on Billo. Um, and the last and the fun thing is that we've already have some development on. We're going to make the next ad for you.
Ooh,
So it's gonna be like a full loop, but real creators, real faces, no fake AI UGC.
interesting.
So the grandma does not blame the fake grandpa for
The
the
grandma
supplements.
does not see an ad of her husband reviewing a product that her grandson made using AI. That would be interesting, actually. I think I actually would be in favor of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that one, but Donatas, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to me about the creator economy and again about UGC and why it's so important in today's day and age. Um, Again, I really appreciate you talking to me about it. Any final thoughts for our viewers on UGC, on everything we talked about? I need a quote for the episode, so I'm hoping to get that right here in these final thoughts.
Okay, so
No
the quote
pressure.
is um, creators is a separate marketing channel and it should be used as a system, not a bunch of random actions. And this is like coming from our work and experience for over the years. And we were like, what is the next thing? How does this, should this be played? And I'm saying what we're actually doing, but I also believe that brands should exactly, this is how they should think about creators as a separate sales channel with separate budgets, and a very sort of systematic approach to it.
Love it. That's the quote. That's the headline on the thumbnail on the episode. So perfect. Well, again, really want to appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you doing this and talking to me and coming on as being a guest on the podcast. So, and like I mentioned, I will have your LinkedIn and as well as the Billo website linked down below. Make sure to check out both of those. Um, and if you need some UGC content, it'll be down there. And Donatas, again, thank you so much for being a guest today.
Same, Pete, was a pleasure. Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well.
I hope to speak again as well.
Yes, we'll see you on the next episode. Keep an eye out for the next episode, and thank you all for watching this episode. I am your host, Velocity Pete, and we will see you next week.